Porsche 911 Carrera T, 2025, review. The Porsche 911 Carrera T has always held a slightly muddled place in the lineup of this sports car, but has been given a well-needed boost as part of this 992.2 facelift. Why? Because it's the only way you can get a new Porsche 911 with a manual gearbox outside of the GT3. With the new Carrera GTS being a hybrid and the Carrera S now PDK only, the new 911 Touring earns its place as a bespoke model, and one that aims to appeal to the purist, not least because unlike the 992.1, it'll only be sold with a good old-fashioned manual. At a glance, pros: sensational gearbox, a joy to drive, superb ergonomics. Cons: a bit more sound deadening would be welcome. Urban ride, badge overkill. What's new? Slotting between the Carrera and Carrera S in Porsche's lineup, the T gets the same flat 6 engine as the former but now uses a 6-speed manual, rather than the slightly oddball 7-speeder that the pre-facelift 992 got. Porsche has also shed 42 kilograms compared to the base Carrera through a mix of lighter windows, reduced insulation and the manual gearbox weighing less, though bizarrely for its weight-saving approach. Porsche has now introduced a Carrera T Cabriolet for the first time. But I guess if you want a manual, drop top 911. It is your only option. The T also gets desirable options such as rear axle steering and the sports chrono package as standard, with its steering being tweaked to be more direct. A walnut laminated gear knob is a great touch, though I'm not such a fan of all the manual gearbox stickers, logos and MT badge. I know I'm driving a manual. Porsche, I don't need the stickers. What's under the bonnet? The T uses Porsche's renowned 3.0-liter flat 6 that puts out 389 bhp and 332 pound-feet of torque. Figures that look quite conservative in a day and age of electric crossovers having 400 bhp. But this 911 is more about how you get there rather than how quickly you get there. A 4.5-second 0 to 62 miles per hour is again firmly in sports car territory, rather than supercar, and it's 0.4 of a second slower to get there than a Carrera and its mandatory PDK, though it would keep going to a top speed of 183 miles per hour. Fuel economy is unlikely to be a top requirement, but the T's long 6th gear makes it surprisingly frugal on a sustained high-speed run. My commute down the A1 achieved 35 mpg. Though get on the roads it was intended to be used for, and you'll soon see SUV 20 mpg on the trip computer. How does it drive? Though I haven't been into the latest GT3 yet, I can comfortably say this is my favorite 992.2 driven to date. Porsche's PDK gearboxes are exceptional, but they are no substitute for the feel and involvement from a traditional gear stick. The T's shortened gear lever and 6-speed gearbox are fantastic, and it's got a pleasingly mechanical action to it. But it's not a hard transmission to use at all, always working with you rather than against. And even being easy to use around town. Moving it all the way across to the left to get into reverse requires an element of force too. But it's all deliberate and better for it. You feel like you're actually doing something, which on a modern car in 2025 feels like a rarity. The flat 6 isn't instantly quick, either, bordering on being sluggish if you're in the wrong gear. The revs climb to 7,000 revolutions per minute, and despite twin turbochargers the revs build naturally as the engine emits an intoxicating growl. The standard fits sports exhaust contributing further. The auto blip feature, which can be turned down, only encourages you to change down for a corner when you might otherwise not. 2. And like most Porsches, I'm convinced in Sport Plus mode that it's quicker than the figures indicate. The steering is super direct and quick to react, and feels pleasingly different to a Carrera S, and though you can feel the superb balance and rear-wheel drive bias. Such wide rear tires, 305 section, make it hard to break traction. That's with the caveat all our testing was in the dry. The one downside of such wide tires and the result of the reduced insulation is that the Carrera T is a loud thing to travel in. Road noise seems to be a staple of the 992, but the T especially. And the sound can become tiring after hours behind the wheel. Is it a car to take to drive to southern Spain? I'm not so sure. The T is also not a 911 to spend its life around town either. with its standard PASM adaptive sports suspension feeling quite harsh on low speed. Broken surfaces, but build the speed and the T comes into its element. The damping on a fast B road is superb, absorbing all but the harshest bumps. In short, drive the Carrera T faster and it's much better, who'd have thought? What's it like inside? Porsche knows how to do a great interior and the Carrera T's is no exception. From the perfect positioning of the pedals, the steering wheel with just the right amount of buttons and of course the manual gear lever that's exactly where you want it. It's a fine thing. The latest 911 moves to keyless button start, rather than turning a dial like the previous car, and fully digital instrument cluster. It's a change that some purists might not be so keen on. But it works well. Be grateful that there are still physical buttons for the climate control. While the touchscreen isn't too large, one ergonomic own goal is that the only cup holder of a decent size in reach of the driver is right behind the manual gear stick, inevitably leading to a spilt coffee as there's no way to change gear without hitting it. As with all new 911s, the T doesn't come with rear seats as standard, though you can option them for free. I also wish Porsche would offer the T in more inventive interior colors. Whereas a Carrera comes with all manner of leather finishes, the T is limited to black leather or Porsche's Alcantara lookalike called Race Tex. You can have blue detailing on the seat belts and around the center console, but it's a shame it doesn't go a step further. Maybe I'm missing the point. Before you, trims and rivals. Despite being based on the Carrera, the T's 115.400 pounds starting price puts it far closer to the 120.500 pounds S rather than the base car's 103.700 pounds. But you're not just paying for the manual gearbox but also the fancier suspension, sports exhaust and four-wheel steering, with the latter not available on a standard Carrera. As with any Porsche, you can waste many hours and thousands of pounds playing on the configurator. Though our test car was quite conservatively spec'd by Stuttgart standards, the white paint is free. As are these wheels. Electric sports seats, 2.429 pounds, is the one must-have for me. As for rivals, the days of manual sports cars is numbered, but the BMW M2 and new Ford Mustang are two of the few other options that you can still get without an automatic. It's hard not to draw a comparison to a 718 Cayman GTS. 2. Verdict. For me, I think the 911 Carrera T might represent the pinnacle of everything I'd want in a modern 911. It's the right balance of tech, engagement and usability. And it comes with all the options I'd want to spec on any other Carrera: sports exhaust, sports chrono and rear wheel steering mainly. More than ever, the Carrera T earns its place in the new 911 lineup. And if you want a taste of that more old school feel from your sports car, it's the one to go for. My only one wish, bizarrely, is for it to have a bit of sound insulation added back in so it would be a more complete motorway cruiser, though. And I'd be taking those manual gearbox stickers off instantly. But neither of those things stops it being one of the best cars I've driven in a long time.